Nothing fancy, I'm just gonna get right to it. This past weekend, I actually watched Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I watched it twice. Not because I thought it was such a spectacular film. I love it. I watched it multiple times. No. I watched it twice because uh, the Nature Girl 30, Regina, wanted to watch it and she didn't want to watch it by herself. So I watched it with her via over the phone because we're in two different areas. But after seeing it twice, let me say, while I don't think it's a horrible film, it's not one that I will be looking at again anytime soon. Ant-Man Quantumania is just a meh film. It's worth one watch, but then after that, if you never watch it again, you ain't missing anything. As a matter of fact, I would say, unless you just want a good laugh about how bad a lot of the film was, don't watch it again. Instead, watch the first two Ant-Mans, because at least those made sense, and at least those they had fun. And the jokes actually were funny. Now, breaking this individually. Yes, I have talked junk about Jonathan Majors and what's going on in his personal life, but I must admit, his portrayal of Kang the Conqueror was great. Now, the best version of Kang the Conqueror, besides the comic books, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. If you've never seen that animated series, check it out. Whether you got Disney Plus, whether on DVD, whatever you got to do, find that series and check it out. In fact, I'd say they do the Avengers better than the movies did. But anyway, his Kang the Conqueror was pretty good. But breaking down these characters in the picture, let's start with the youngest one, Cassie. I know everybody called her a Mary Sue and a woke character. I have to disagree. She was the typical teenage angst that they have done in TV and movies for decades. For years, going back to even when I was a kid, probably even before I even existed. They have done, this story's been told forever. So on that one, I give it a pass for the most part. Is she likable? Not really. But is she the most annoying thing on TV? Is she worse than Riri Williams? I would have to say no. No. Because if you want Mary Sue, Riri was the epitome, and I still say she had no business in Black Panther, but that's a whole nother topic. Then you have Henry Pym, the original Ant-Man, who basically got his chopped off in this movie. I mean, at least in the first two Pyms, even though he was an old ass man, Henry Pym actually had. Here, he's almost like a lovesick puppy, an old man trying to hang on to his lady. And speaking of which, that brings me to the most hated character in this film by a lot of, even by people that like this film, and that's Janet Van Dyne. When did Janet Van Dyne become such a... I mean, she doesn't talk about why she doesn't want to go to the quantum realm. When she goes there, she avoids explaining to either her daughter Hope Van Dyne or her husband Henry Pym. Avoids talking about her time in the quantum realm for who knows how long, even when her explanation could help the situation. And then when it's revealed that in the 30 years that she was down there away from her husband, keep in mind her husband was fighting to find her for much of that 30 years. Well, actually, for most of it, he thought he was dead. But when he realized she could be still alive, he spent time trying to find her, to bring her home. And what does he get? He goes to the quantum realm back with her and finds out that Bill Murray, yeah, I know his character was called something else, but Bill Murray was bending his woman over and giving her the penetration. He may as well, and he said it in so many words in the scene there. Yeah, I'm going to have spoilers here. He may as well have done Tupac and said, You claim to be a player, but I your wife. I mean, he might as well have said that. He might as well. And the worst part is, no remorse. She was like, I was down here for 30 years, Henry. I had needs. Really? Really? I would have had a little bit more sympathy if she would have been like, Henry, look, I'm sorry. I mean, things happened between me and him. He was so charming, and I didn't know if I was going to come home. And we did. I'm sorry. It happened. But, oh God. If she would have showed even a smidgen of remorse, I'd have been like, okay, she was down there for 30 years. She saw an attractive man that was giving her the vibes. She didn't know if she was ever going to go home. She was like, oh, screw it. And then I would have been like, okay, it happened, whatever. But her remote, I would have been like, we get out of this, you better go see a divorce lawyer, because I damn sure am. Then we get the poor Hope, who's in the middle of all this, who gets barely any character development at all. She goes from having maybe a smidget too much in the second film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, to too much development. To hardly no development in this one. The only one that has had any character growth, character development, and seems to have a set of on him is Scott Lang. Scott Lang, the jokester himself. The jokester himself. He's the only one with any balls at all. He's the only one that I'm even kind of rooting for in this movie. But anyway, overall, if I had to give this thing a letter grade, I would give it maybe a C-. It's not a good film, but is it like Thor, Love and Thunder bad? Oh, hell no. Hell no. Not even close. Not even close, no. Thor, Love and Thunder has to be the worst piece of trash in the MCU that I've ever seen, that I've personally actually watched. And no, I have not watched Eternals, nor do I have any interest in it. But of the films that I have actually watched, Thor, Love and Thunder has got to be the worst piece of trash I've ever seen. Fantastic Four 2015 wasn't it as bad as that piece of crap. Oh my God. Yeah, I have a new most hated film. If you must see an MCU film from recent times, go check out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, it's not a perfect film, but it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And it's way better than Thor, Love and Thunder. Anyway, that's my quick rant on Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I'm out. I've got to talk about this right here. Originally, from what I understand, there was strong rumors and strong hints that there was supposed to be a relationship between the eventual villain of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, and by Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Janet Van Dyne. For whatever reason, it was changed for her to reveal that she had a brief affair with Bill Murray's character. Now, if you look at the way the relationship between Kang and Janet Van Dyne developed when she was trapped in the quantum realm, it would have made, and I'm not just talking about, just some sexual fantasy, but it would have made far more sense for those two to have a fling or an affair than it would for random Bill Murray character to have an affair with Janet Van Dyne. Would have made far more sense. And if I put myself in the position of the husband, I'm still going to be mad. But if I look at Kang, and I'll be like, We still getting divorced when we get back. But, oh, well, then again, him I can understand. Plus, you developed a relationship with him. A friendship with him. So, and it went too far. You let him hit it once. So, oh, yeah, I'm going to need a drink, man. I got to think about this. But him I can understand. You let Bill Murray do you, but not Kang the Conqueror, who would have been far more understandable. Yeah, I'm not letting that part go. I'm sorry. I guess Hollywood can't let the black man get none of their starlet. Yeah, I'm going there. None of their starlets. Not even their gilfs. That's for GILF. Look up what that means. Anyway, I'm out for real now, man. Oh, God. But seriously, from a storyline standpoint, watch the film. This relationship would have made far more sense if it came out that something sexual happened between these two and not Janet Van Dyne and Bill Murray. From a storyline standpoint. Anyway, I'm out for real.